Right. I'm going to go through a few basic ratio things, so something for you to practice today before we get on to something that's a little bit harder. We need to do the basics, make sure everybody's up to speed. So let's have a look at 5 examples, then you can have a go at the questions or the sections that are on the worksheet A to E, which is on Show My Homework as well. Okay, so simplify the first ratio. So the way we simplify ratios is we take out common factors from each term that's in the ratio, just like we do with fractions. So you might notice straight off that actually these are all in the 7 times table, so they're all divisible by 7. So let's all divide it by 7. Let's see if we can just stop there. So 7 divided by 7 is 1, 28 divided by 7 is 4, 14 divided by 7 is 2. There is no more common factors in that ratio, so we can't simplify it any further. If you could simplify it any further, you would continue to simplify. Right, next example. The ratio of chickens to ducks is 8 to 7. So what fraction of this is ducks? So think about it. For every 15 I have, 8 are chickens and 7 are ducks. That's what this represents, this ratio. It represents there is a total. By adding all of these together, you get the total amount of animals there are. For each, let's say, every 15 animals, there would be 8 chickens and 7 ducks. So what fraction of this would be ducks? Well, it would be 7, because that is the ducks bit of the ratio. And there is 15 in total. Okay, so it would be 7/15. So try and remember that. Try and remember that actually totaling up this whole ratio would give you your denominator, and then each bit of this ratio would give you your numerator. So we can work backwards. We can do something very similar. So 7/10 of seedlings germinate. That's a really bad spelling of germinate, but don't worry. The rest do not. Write this as a ratio in the form germinates to doesn't germinate. So we need to think about this. We need 2 numbers in our ratio which add to 10. One of them is going to be 7, so the other one must be 3. And we want this in the form germinates to doesn't germinate. So 7/10 of the seedlings germinate. So 7 is going to be at the front of our ratio, and it's going to be 7 to doesn't germinate 3. Okay, it's always in the wording. This will be your first bit in the ratio. This will be your second bit in the ratio. So 7 to 3. So we've gone from fractions now to ratios. Okay, moving on. All right, because I think some of you are probably most of you, well, not all of you, are very capable at doing stuff like this. So opportunity for you to actually get through some of the easier stuff. So I want to share 700 grams in the ratio 2 to 11 to 1. So remember what the ratio represents. If I total all of this up, it tells me that 2 of that total is represented here, 11 of that total here, and 1 of that total here. So add this all up, I get 2 plus 11 plus 1 equals 14. So for every 14 bits, I want 2 of them here, 11 of them here, and 1 of them here. So easiest way to do that is work out how many 14s go into 70 grams. And that will tell you what 1 part is equal to of my ratio. 1 part of my ratio, and I've got 14 parts in total, is equal to 700 divided by 14. Well, let's just think about that. How many 14s could go into 700? Why don't we get a calculator and help us out? Because we can be using calculators as well. I think there's going to be a 5 in there somewhere. 700 divided by 14 equals 15. Alright, so 1 part equals 50. So if 1 part equals 50, 2 parts must be equal to 100. 11 parts must be equal to 550, and 1 part must be equal to 50. So if I was to split this up, then I would have 100 grams to 550 grams to 50 grams. I think actually just writing this list that I did on the right hand side would be appropriate, just enough. Okay, something that's a little bit tricky and something you'll see in section E. Okay, it's where they don't necessarily give you one part, so they're a little bit more complicated. You just got to read the question and understand what they're telling you. Louise and Bob share some money in the ratio 8 to 11. Bob gets £57 more than Louise. So don't forget, Louise and Bob. So this is Louise's share, 8 parts, and this is Bob's share, 11 parts. Okay, because it's all in the wording. If whatever comes first is the first bit on the ratio, whatever comes last is the last bit on the ratio. How much do they share in total? So Bob gets £57 more than Louise. Well, how many more parts does Bob get? Well, 11 take away 8 equals 3 parts. He gets 3 parts more, which is equivalent to £57. So from that, I should be able to work out what 1 part is equal to by dividing 57 by 3. 57 divided by 3. If you play darts like I do, you will know that's 19. Okay, so 1 part equals £19. Right, now that I know that 1 part equals, I want to work out how much do they share in total. Well, 8 parts plus 11 parts is 19, so I need to multiply 19 by 19, because I've got 19 parts in total. So 19 times 19, let's have a look. 9 times 9 is 81, carry the 8, 9 times 1 is 9, plus the 8 is 17, 10 times 19 is 190, 361, and there is your answer. Okay, now I'd like you to have a go at sections A to E on the booklet on Show My Home.